Hello friends, and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. In today's video, we're going to close out my budget for the month of April. But first of all, thank you to everyone who sent me kind thoughts. I had my procedure yesterday and it went well. So if you notice a little bit of bruising here, that's from where they put the IV in my hand. Anyways. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and close out the rest of the weeks here. So loan number 2 came out on the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. So loan number 2 is a debt consolidation loan, and instead of having it come out once a month, we have it come out once a week. And by doing this, there are some weeks like some months like this month that has an extra payment. So it's just going to help us pay off that loan just a little bit faster. Okay, next our bills. So our internet came out and that was $77. Then we have a new expense here, so I had to add this to the budget sheet. This was for, this is a new math program that we're doing for Homeschool for Logan, and it's $11 a month. It's an online program. We're testing it out right now to see if we like it and if we want to do it for next year. So we will be canceling it after May. And then perhaps restarting it in the fall. And then our water and electricity came out, and that was $406. We're in budget billing for that, so it's the same amount every month, and that's very helpful. And then our gas for our house came out, and that was $24. That's funny, it was $24, and it also came out on the 24th. Okay, then Netflix came out, and that was $17. HBO also came out, and that was $18. Okay, that's it for bills. Let's take a look now at food over the last couple of weeks. So the first week we went to Sam's and Walmart, and we spent $75 at Sam's and $149 at Walmart. And then the next week we went to Sam's and Walmart again. This time we spent $109 at Sam's and we spent $53 at Walmart. And then this third week, all we've done so far is go to Sam's for $106. Okay, next is gas. We had a really high gas month this month. Usually we get gas once or twice a month, sometimes once a month, usually twice a month, but this time we did it every week. We needed gas every week. We just had a lot more traveling we had to do this month. I keep saying this week, but I mean this month. Okay, so first of all, gas was $38 this first week here, or this third week of the month, and then we got gas again the next week, and it was $36. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of driving, a lot of appointments that we've had to go to. Okay, we had only one miscellaneous cost over this period, and it was for a prescription from our pharmacy at Target. So that was $23 for that. And then we had spending money come out twice. So it came out on the 20th and the 27th for $55. And that's also a fixed amount. Okay, and then for sinking funds, I do this at the end of the month if we're able to do it. There's 2 types of sinking funds, and this is the first one. We were able to do the first group of sinking funds, but not the second. I'll get more in detail in that. I'll explain that in more detail in the next worksheet. So for the vet, we put aside $20 into our sinking fund account, which is just a savings account. Then we put $20 aside for our car registration, and we put $10 aside for Amazon. This is our annual Amazon membership, and we also put $10 aside for our annual Sam's Club membership. Okay, so those were all the sinking funds that we did, and then we didn't have any extra savings this month. Okay, let's take a look at the worksheet. Okay, so Google Fi, that is our internet. It came out, we budgeted 75, but it was actually 77, I believe. Yeah. So a couple dollars more than what we originally budgeted. Then water and electricity came out, and like I said, that's budget billing, so that's exactly what we budgeted. Alliant is the gas for our house. We budgeted $64, and it was $24. Nice. Next was Netflix and HBO, which I believe was exactly right. Let's double check. Yep, 17 and 18. Okay, and then loan number 2. So we had the 2 come out that I had budgeted for, and then there was one extra one that came out on the 29th that I did not write down at the beginning of the month. I missed that. So I had budgeted 0, but it was actually $142. And then IXL is a new bill that I added this month, so I wasn't planning on it at the beginning of the month. I didn't know about it. So that was 11. So let me add this all together and see how much our actual amount was versus what we budgeted. So $3,068 was our actual amount. We budgeted $2,951. Okay, coming down here to our variable expenses, I need to do the chart at the back of the month first, and then we'll come back and fill this out, and I'll know for sure after I do that chart. So let me show you that. So this is a sticker kit for my 8.5 by 11 budgeting kit, and it worked pretty well in here. I mean, it's a little bit off, but I like it so much that going forward, so the next stickers that I make, the next sticker designs I make will be July. So starting in July, I'm going to have this as an add-on option for all of my kits, but it'll be fitted exactly for this planner because right now it's a little bit big. You know, goes into this white space here. But to make it easier, I had a lot of requests for this item on old designs. So to make it easier for you guys, I did add this to all of my kits all the way back to December, but it's the 8.5 by 11 size. So it's this big size, and it's not the Budget Mom, Budget by Paycheck workbook size. That will be coming out starting in July, just to give you a heads up. So the first week was 74 and 149, 223. Okay, gas was $38. And miscellaneous, we didn't have any that week. And spending was $55. Okay, so $313 minus $223. That's $90. So it looks like we definitely went over in groceries. I know we went over in gas, so 14 minus 38. So we're already at negative 24 at this point. Okay, so miscellaneous is still 162, so that's going to help us out cover these expenses where we went over, and spending is the same. So let's see. I'm going to add this column together. So we spent $316. So we had $599 minus $316. This should be $283. So if I did everything right, if I add all this together, it should be $283. Yep, $283. Okay, so coming down here, groceries has a starting budget of $90. Gas is negative 24. Miscellaneous is 162, and spending is 55 for a total of $283. Okay, and then groceries this week, we spent $109 and 53. That's 162. Gas was 36. Miscellaneous was 23. And spending was 55. Okay, so 90 minus 162. That's negative 72. Negative 24 minus 36. So that's 24 plus 36. So now we're negative $60 there. Okay, 162 minus 23, so 139. And then 55 minus 55 is 0. So we had, see how much we spent. $276. And over here, we've got 139 minus 72 minus 60. Ooh, it's a difference of $7. Holy cow, that was close. But we had one more week, unfortunately, of food. Let me grab my sticker kit. So the sticker kit comes with 2 headers in case you wanted to do 2 sheets and spread it out for more expenses. And it also comes with a 5th week sticker for those months where you need a 5th week. So the only category we spent in this week was groceries, but I went ahead and wrote all of them down just for consistency. So for groceries, we spent another $106 before the month ended. So we were at negative 72. We spent 106. So negative 72 and 106. So now we're negative 178 in the food category, which is not good. That's one of our worst months. I think last month we were below budget for the first time in like years. So that's too bad. Okay, gas, we were over budget. We started with negative 60. We did not spend anything extra this week, so we're still negative 60. Miscellaneous, we started with 139. We did not spend any more. Oops, so that's 0. So we're still 139 positive in that category. And spending, we only do 4 weeks of spending money. So on a 5th week month, we don't get extra spending money. So it's just 0, 0. Okay, so, and 0. So let's see. So we started the week with $7. We ended up spending $106. So that means we were over budget total this month by $99. Let me just double check my math, make sure I did that right. Yes. Okay. So now we can go back to the worksheet and fill in the variable expense section. So for groceries, we budgeted $800, but we actually ended up spending $978. Gas, we budgeted $80 and we ended up spending $140. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $200, but we only spent $61. And spending, we budgeted $220 and that's what we spent. So let's see what our variable versus our actual was. So $13.99. So we budgeted $1,300. We spent $13.99. So that's a difference of $99. Okay, coming up here to sinking funds. Like I said, we do this at the end of the month. So we did put $20 towards vet, $20 towards car registration, $10 towards Amazon, and $10 towards Sam's Club for a total of $60. I was trying something new this month. I was trying to do some extra sinking funds just for me, some personal goals. I didn't have any extra money though to put towards these goals, so it's 0 for these categories this month. Okay, so let's go to those worksheets at the end of the month worksheets. Okay, so starting with our total monthly inflow, this month our total monthly inflow was $45.27. If you're new to my channel, or if you haven't been here for a while, I just want to remind you we're not sharing the breakdown of our income, we're just sharing our total monthly inflow. Okay, so I'm going to start by writing out all the budget categories and then we'll go over all the rest of the information for that. Okay, so starting with debt. So my debt and my bills are together as fixed expenses. So my debt are all these pink ones here. And when I added the budget, the amount that we budgeted together, it came to $2,002. Now we went over our monthly spending amount on that because we had an extra payment to loan number 2. So the amount we actually ended up spending was $21.44. So the difference there is a difference of $142. And I'm going to show you in just a minute how to calculate the percent of total monthly inflow. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of the worksheet first. So now bills are the purple ones, and when I added the budgeted amount together, it came to $949. We ended up spending less on bills than I thought we were going to because of our gas for our house. We thought it was going to cost $64, but it only cost $24. So we ended up spending $899 there. So $949 minus $899, that's a difference of $50. Okay, and then for food, we had a food budget of $800, but we actually ended up spending $978. So that's a difference of $178. For gas, we budgeted $80 and we spent $140. That's a difference of $60. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $200. We only spent $61. So that's a difference of $139. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure that I'm doing the negatives correct. We were negative here and we were negative here. We were negative here. So negative meaning we went over budget in those categories. Okay, for spending, it was $220 and $220, which is a difference of 0. Savings was 0 across the board. Sinking funds, we budgeted $60, which is what we did. So that's a difference of 0. And then sinking funds number 2 was 0 across the board. So just out of curiosity, let's do these totals here. So our monthly budget for everything, let's see. So we had a monthly budget of $4,311, but we actually spent $4,502, which means I wrote the wrong amount there. That was supposed to be 4,502. So 4,502 minus 4,311. That's a difference of $191. So we went over budget by $191. Let me just double check that and make sure that's right. Yes, okay. So you might be wondering how we're going to cover that extra amount, and the way we're going to do that is we have a little bit of a cushion in that account, so that cushion's going to have to cover that amount. And we try not to ever use that cushion, but that's what it's there for things like that. Okay, so now it's time to calculate the percent total of monthly inflow. So the way to calculate that is you take the amount that you actually spent and then you divide it by your total monthly inflow. And if you ever forget that formula, it is down here. She wrote it down here for you guys. So let's just do the first one together. 2144 divided by 4502 times, I like to multiply it times 100. It's easier for me to read that way. 47.6. I'm going to round up. So 48% went to, of our income, of our inflow went to debt. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and calculate the rest, and then I'll come back and update you on the totals. Okay, so looking at the remaining categories here, 20% of our inflow went to bills, 22% went to food, 3% went to gas, 1% went to miscellaneous, 5% went to spending, and 1% went to sinking funds number 1. Okay, so let's take a look at where did my money go, monthly debt, and savings breakdown. So the total monthly inflow was $4,502. The monthly amount that we paid off to debt this month was 2,144. The percent of infloated debt was 48%. And this I have three debt categories. There's loan number 2, mortgage, and our SUV. Okay, so we spent $710 on loan number 2 this month. $1,316 went to mortgage, and $118 went to SUV. So to calculate the percent of category to debt, if you ever forget, she does have the formula down here, but you just take the total amount that you spent, that you put towards that category, and you divide it by this number here, your monthly debt payoff amount. So 710 divided by 2144. So 33% went to loan number 2. So the next one would be 1316 divided by 2144. So 61% went to our mortgage. So the last one is 118 divided by 2144. So 6% went to our SUV. Okay, moving over here to savings. Over here, she wants you to do your total monthly income and not your total monthly inflow. But again, we don't share that. We just share our inflow. So it's $4,502. So this month we were able to save a total of $60. Whew, not very much. So the percent of our income saved was 1%. And as far as the categories go, we have 3 categories, but we only were able to save in one of them. I'll go ahead and write all 3 down just so I can see for future reference. But so it was 0 for savings challenges, 60 for sinking funds number 1, and 0 for sinking funds number 2. So to calculate this, I would take 60 divided by 60 multiplied by 100, and that'd be 100%. So 100% of our savings went to sinking funds number 1. Okay, finally it's time to do where did my money go? Monthly spending comparison. This is where we compare how we did last month versus this month. So first of all, let's look at the monthly inflow change. So in March we had $42.61 to work with. And this month we had $45.02, so we had more this month to work with. So let's see what that is. So that's a difference of $241. So we had more money this month. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and write down all the budget categories, and I'm gonna go ahead and write my March and April numbers, and then we'll talk about what the change was in those numbers. Okay, so let's compare the difference between the percent of the budget I spent on each budget category last month to this month. So last month it was 47% towards debt. This month was 48%. So we increased the percent of our budget by 1%. Here we decreased by 3. Here we increased by 1. So bills decreased by 3. Food increased by 1%. Gas, oh yeah, this is crazy. A crazy gas month for us. Gas increased by 2%. Miscellaneous decreased by 2%. Spending stayed exactly the same. And the same with savings challenges. Sinking funds number 1 and sinking funds number 2. There was not a difference. Okay friends, so that is it for my budget closeout. The next budgeting video I make will be a budgeting setup video, so I hope you'll come back and join me for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again next time. Bye everyone.